From South Carolina Public Radio, this is the South Carolina Lead. I'm your host, Gavin Jackson, and this episode was recorded on April 23rd, 2026 from South Carolina Public Radio Studios here in Columbia. On this episode of The Lead, we look at the second Republican gubernatorial primary debate that took place this week in Charleston. And the mega hemp debate continues.
Mega.
You want me to say mega hemp?
Mega hemp.
Debate. We got a lot of debate. This one's a
mega hemp
debate. Wow. So we got the latest on your gummies and drinks, folks. You're going to want to listen to this episode. Also, check out the State House Gavel, where we've been talking about a lot of these things. You can find that at scetv.org/thegavel, where Tuesday through Friday for the next 3 weeks. Mayan Schechter and myself will bring you recaps, previews, big and small State House moments, meeting schedule highlights, photos, video, and more. And of course, we're always incorporating some of that into the pod. The Lead loves incorporating you into the pod. Sounds a little creepy, but we do. It's giving you a warm hug, especially our friends in the tropics. 803-563-7169. Tell us where you are, what you're doing, what's affecting your world right now. We are winding down in the State House, continue to ramp up the campaign trail as we head towards the June 9th primary. We're going to have a debate soon, TBD on that, but let us know what you're thinking about issues that are top of mind for you. 803-563-7169. The second Republican gubernatorial debate was Tuesday night in Charleston and featured the top 6 candidates vying for the June 9th nomination, including Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evette, Spartanburg Senator Josh Kimbrell, 1st District Congresswoman Nancy Mace, 5th District Congressman Ralph Norman, businessman Ron Reddy, and Attorney General Alan Wilson. And this was the first debate that Evette and Reddy were on the debate stage, so 6 people on the debate stage for an hour. Got to move quick, so we're giving you some of the highlights here, folks. And again, there were really no breakout or viral moments, but again, no one, made any big mistakes, which is always what you're trying to avoid, so you don't want to become internet fodder, that's for sure. And the crowded field continued to make their pitches to South Carolina Republicans, a majority of which polls consistently show are undecided. Are you one of those people? Maybe. Let us know. We have yet to see new polling since the April 1st debate, but we know, looking at past polls, that the top 3 positions alternate between Evette, Mace, and Wilson. So kind of floating around there. Really want to see what's been bumping since these debates. We'll find out soon. Hopefully, someone release a poll, please. Yeah! Now, they faced 6 questions over this hour with time for opening and closing statements. And the opening question was on hate crimes legislation that has lacked Senate Republican support for years, despite one of the chamber's own, Senator Clement Pinckney, and 8 of his parishioners being gunned down more than 10 years ago blocks away at Mother Emanuel AME Church. Now, proponents have watered this bill down over the years to ensure that freedom of speech is preserved in this, something that a lot of Republicans have concerns about. But again, this is a penalty enhancement bill. So let's get onto the debate stage and hear what folks had to say about this, starting with Kimbrell, Norman, Evette, Mace, Wilson, and Reddy. I think you'll know their voices while we go through this, but this is how it's going to go, folks.
The reason we don't have a version right now is because people try to load too many things in it that would actually hurt religious liberty and hurt people of faith in our state. So, for example, I have told our Democratic colleagues I would be open to a conversation on race, unchangeable sexual characteristics, etc. But they've insisted every time on including language from an EEOC administrative law court decision. And I asked somebody in a hearing in the Judiciary Committee, which I sit on, do you believe this could be used to prosecute somebody on a social media post who says they believe marriage is between even a man and a woman? And they said yes. And I said, then I'm voting no, because I will never pass a bill that is going to restrict the religious liberty of our people and shut people up for what they personally believe in their heart.
Pass a hate crimes law? Absolutely not. Look, there are laws on the books. There are laws on the books for killing people. That just gives another trial lawyer a way to make a case against, if you're biased or not. It ought to be some help for mentally ill people that kill the parishioners in Charleston. Absolutely not. I'd fight that. Would not go along with that.
We've saw a lot of, turmoil in our country. And when we saw all the anti-Semitic protests on college campuses in states that had hate crime laws, Not once did I ever hear or read about a hate crime law getting used against Jewish students on campus that were being harassed and abused. A hate crime law is not something I would stand for here in South Carolina.
Every single crime is literally a hate crime. There is no such thing as a hate crime because every crime is a hate crime.
Well, for the folks at home, I want to make sure they understand that as governor, I will never support a bill that criminalizes your free speech. That is not what this is. We will never criminalize free speech. I've had to go to court multiple times around the country to defend people's rights when they were being prosecuted for using improper pronouns. That's not what this is. Yes, we're one of 2 states that doesn't have a hate crime law. I agree with what Nancy said. All crime is hateful, and absolutely we should prosecute it to the fullest extent. But as the only prosecutor up here and someone who's spoken to sheriffs and prosecutors around the state, I don't mind giving law enforcement an extra tool as long as an enhancement of another type of crime. So if you want to give additional tools to law enforcement to go after these people, to put them in jail longer, be my guest. Sign me up for that every day. But we're not going to criminalize speech. We will protect your First Amendment rights.
You know, the political ruling class always has a different answer than I do. But, you know, what can I do about that? The Declaration of Independence and the gospel, that's our roadmap. Jesus said, a house divided amongst itself cannot stand. God made us in his image. Believers believe we're all his children. All this division and hate is created by the political class because that's what gives them all the power they have.
Reddy didn't really answer the question there, but that's the magic of the debate. So Wilson there supporting those penalty enhancements, which is what the hate crimes bill is. You basically have to almost kill someone in the current bill to get penalty enhancements. Again, that bill's gone nowhere. Not even the House this year. It's stopped going through the House at this point. So it's kind of an interesting question there since that legislation isn't moving. But there was a big moment and a big difference between Norman and Reddy with the others on stage when it came to recent abortion legislation. That legislation is moving, as we've talked about, but it's not really going anywhere either. But of course, abortion always the perennial issue that we talk about, including this new restrictive abortion bill S-1095 that moved out of the Senate Medical Affairs Committee hours earlier that day. The bill would eliminate current exceptions for rape, incest, and fatal fetal anomaly, as well as criminalize doctors and women for obtaining an illegal abortion. And that was a no-go for nearly all the pro-life candidates on stage, with, again, only Norman saying that he would sign the bill in its current form. But we start with Evett, Mace, Wilson, Reddy, Kimbrell, and then Norman at the end.
I'm proud to have the national endorsement of Susan B. Anthony and received a 100% scorecard for South Carolina Citizens for Life. And I stand with both of them saying that S-1095 has gone too far. If a bill like that showed up on my desk, I would veto it as your next governor. I think that has gone. I am very happy with the heartbeat bill, and that is a road that has gone a little too far.
I have the same position as President Trump. I am pro-life with exceptions for rape and incest and life of the mother. As a survivor, I've told my story multiple times, the first time being in 2019 on the floor of the State House, where we had a fetal heartbeat bill, and it was the first time in the country where an amendment was put on the fetal heartbeat bill for exceptions for rape and for incest, and it passed the House. And we were the first state in the country to do that. And that is my position, and that will be my position as governor when you elect me.
I have always been unapologetically pro-life, and I've demonstrated this by defending the unborn in local courts, going all the way to the United States Supreme Court many times. This is why citizens, South Carolina Citizens for Life have endorsed me in every election I've run for Attorney General, where I have a 100% rating. It's because of my defense of the unborn. This is an issue, I believe, because it is so emotional and so divisive, and we must recognize the reality of the environment that we're in, that when dealing with policies and approaching an issue like abortion, we must have compassion for the unborn and the mother. We must build consensus for everyone moving forward and apply common sense, which is why I would veto that bill. But in addition, we need to build a culture of life in South Carolina by reforming our adoption as well as our foster care systems and making sure crisis pregnancy centers are adequately funded and women have
Attorney
access
General,
to
thank you very much. Your time is...
I am pro-life. I have 2 grandkids who were born within a week or so of 25 weeks. And they're healthy, beautiful kids, and I'm happy they were born. That said, aren't we tired of this discussion? It's been going on for decades. The ruling class all argues amongst themselves, and then Dobbs comes down in 22 and says it's the state's decision. So they argue some more, and then they reached a 6-week bill a couple years ago. Now they're fighting with each other again. The Supreme Court did not say the loudest voice in the ruling class prevails. He said it's up to the people in the state. So let's put it to a referendum if you can't agree and put this thing to bed once and for all.
I sit on the Senate Medical Affairs Committee in Columbia, and this week in my remarks I said if this goes to the floor, I will never support the level of penalties that are included in that bill. My position is I always support a conversation about life. I too personally believe that life begins at conception. At the same time, as a Christian, I believe there's two sides of the Christian message, justice and mercy. You can't focus so much on justice you're willing to put a woman who's scared in jail. I will never support a bill that puts a woman who is scared in jail.
I am pro-life. I've got 17 grandchildren, and this is an emotional issue, but I will tell you, if this bill came to my desk as governor, if it passed the House and the Senate, I would sign it. The mental illness part of this is what really needs to be addressed, and I think it would be. It's harsh to put someone in prison for that 15-year-old who aborted a baby or attempted to. That being said, again, if it gets to my desk, I would sign it.
Candidates again were cordial with each other on the debate stage, and even a moment of levity between Congresswoman Mace and Congressman Norman on infrastructure. Take a listen to Mace here.
And one of the things that Ralph always says, and he missed it tonight, he wants his lieutenant governor to be a road czar. So I want to ask Ralph to be my road czar. Ralph, I would love that. He's great. He builds roads. He'd be great.
Congresswoman, thank you. Congressman Norman, you do have 30 seconds for a response.
Nancy, I want to thank you for the compliment. I would be a tremendous road czar, and I too will put the lieutenant governor as a road czar, and it will no longer be a position that is kissing babies and blowing bubbles. We're going to put them to work. I agree with Nancy.
Was that Mace floating a potential ticket? Neither she nor Norman have announced a running mate. And if Norman doesn't make the runoff and Nancy does she pick him up? Who knows? We don't know. Also, Norman giving a veiled dig there at the lieutenant governor standing right next to him. Another 2 digs came from Wilson, who capitalized on Evatt saying she was the only person on stage in the executive branch. He is as well. And then at Norman when it came to how candidates would work to unite and lead fellow Republicans in the General Assembly.
Listen, I haven't been in office since 2005, but I know enough to know this. You can't call people corrupt and then ask them to give you your agenda so that you can have a political win. You've got to work with people. You can go after the bad guys in the legislative branch and the judicial branch, but you can't paint everyone with a wide brush. As governor, you're going to lead from the front with a positive message for the people of South Carolina.
Afterward, in the spin room, I asked Wilson about that corruption remark.
As Attorney General, I've indicted between 60 and 70 public officials, appointed and or elected, over my tenure as AG. So I have identified lots of corruption in government. There are people who are bad actors or incompetent at their job, and there are people who are criminally, committing crimes in their job. Those are 2 different things. And he talks about corruption with broad strokes, but basically saying everybody who does things that I don't like is corrupt. And I think what I was attempting to do is you're trying to build relationships with people in all 3 branches of government, especially the legislative branch of government, with which the governor must work with. And his message is you're all corrupt. And then he wants to be governor and say, you're all corrupt. Now give me my agenda and vote so that I can have a legislative win. That is not the way you build coalitions to get things done in government. You might have to isolate and identify individuals in the legislative branch of government, but calling an entire branch or inferring that an entire branch of government or implying that an entire branch of government is corrupt is not the way you build coalitions to get your agenda passed.
Kimbrell also pounced on the Columbia hating.
I resent the implication that everybody in Columbia is a rhino because I actually beat a 30-year Democratic incumbent back in 2020. The reason the heartbeat bill couldn't pass then is because of him and 2 other seats we flipped. The reason we couldn't pass constitutional carry and open carry, same folks. In the last 5 years, we have moved this state in a much more conservative direction because of people like me being in the Senate. We now have open carry. We now have constitutional carry. We now have a heartbeat bill, and we've cut taxes this year alone by $575 million. So that's how you get it done, and not everybody in Columbia is a rhino. We're weeding them out.
The debate was bookended by candidates giving their own remarks, and there was only really time for about 6 questions, and the last one was on data centers. Data! With legislation in the State House stalling this year, Wilson kicked it off, then Reddy, Kimbrell, Norman, Evatt, and Mace talking about data centers.
Everybody at home, as your next governor, I will always fight for your right in your local communities that if you do not want a data center, you should not be forced to have a data center. But there are communities out there and people out there who want data centers. They see them as an opportunity for the future. I believe in President Trump's agenda on data centers. I think that we can incentivize data centers, scale them to lessen the environmental impacts, the noise and light impacts for those communities that want them, pass a statewide regulatory legal regime that monitors them, and then incentivize those data centers to create their own energy, giving excess energy that they do not use back to local utility companies, increasing the power, the energy, and then lowering your utility rates. There's a way we can get a win-win on this, and this is a national security issue as well.
We put out a piece, 2 weeks ago. I'm dead opposed to them. And the reason I'm dead opposed to them is the PRC, the political ruling class, they do not know how to make deals. It's horrible. Every deal they make is horrible.
On every other issue, I'm working on it now in the legislature with Senator Davis in this case as well, to put parameters around data centers to ensure that the water consumption does not impact places like the Ace Basin, ensuring that the Public Service Commission makes absolutely sure nobody's power rate goes up, and we try to get behind the meter energy grids in place so they can be self-sufficient. There's a way to do that in the bill we drafted, having environmental services and the Public Service Commission come in.
Well, I'm gonna protect the water supply in this state. I'm going to protect the electricity that is not being made. Folks, one of the worst kept secrets is the fact that we've got a $9 billion debt with our Santee Cooper. If a data center comes in or any other industry, we're going to have a long debate on who's paying for the electricity. It's not going to be the state of South Carolina. It's going to be you. If you want to come to the state, you're going to need to find a way to fund your electricity needs with where we are in the state right now. Private property rights are basic to this state, and a lot of people want to use their rights for that. But I would discourage incentives for it, and I would encourage quality development over quantity.
Yes, as your next governor, I'll make sure that ratepayers will never pay an added expense because a data center wants to come to South Carolina. President Trump said it very well in his State of the Union address. Any data center that wants to move into a neighborhood has to bring whatever alternate energy they need or cover the added expense to the ratepayers in the area. We must always protect our water for our farmers. South Carolina, here in our state, agriculture and forestry arm wrestle tourism and hospitality for the #1 revenue generator. So we always should protect what our farmers are doing. And we should always protect ratepayers, but the final say should come to the people. People in local communities should have the final say of who they want their neighbors to be.
Data centers should pay their own way. They should pay for their energy, they should pay for their water, they should pay for their infrastructure, any roads around it, and we should look at what Governor Ron DeSantis has done in Florida with the large data centers that are coming to Florida. That should be the model in South Carolina and everywhere. In South Carolina, like many other states, we are facing an energy crisis. I have been working over the last 6 to 12 months with the Department of Energy, with the EPA, to look at backup energy sources for states that are lacking energy.
In the spin room afterwards, Evett, who mentioned President Donald Trump in nearly every response she gave, was asked about his critical words directed at Pope Leo XIV. Evett, a devout Catholic, said they're two different people.
So I am a very devout Catholic, but you know what? I consider them two very different men with two very different agendas. President Trump's agenda is to keep the American people safe. And the Pope's agenda is to get all of our souls to heaven. And I can understand what both their agendas are. And I think everybody should think of it that way. I don't know why everybody thinks that they have these same goals in mind. President of the United States and Pope, the leader of the Catholic Church. Two completely different agendas.
But do you think the Pope is a loser and that he is soft on crime?
You know what? I do not think the Pope is a loser, but I don't get involved in the argument between them. I can respect both of them for what they do. I respect both of them for the goals that they have.
The SCGOP's third and final primary debate is May 26 at Wofford College. Only those who clear a 5% polling hurdle will make the cut. Let's get some polls, please. Yeah. We will also be releasing debate dates soon, likely to be in early June. Stay tuned for ETV debates. Sticking with the campaign trail, Rom Reddy dropped 2 ads this week, including one targeted specifically at Congressman Ralph Norman and term limits. Take a listen.
Ralph Norman keeps saying he's for
term limits.
Term limits. Term limits. Term limits.
Term limits.
but he's been in office for 20 years. That's 10 terms. Ralph Norman, just another career politician saying one thing and doing another.
Reddy also dropped another ad, somewhat of a riff off of his previous 2 lanes ad.
There are 2 lanes in the race for governor. In the political ruling class lane, 4 career politicians who have failed South Carolina. All talk, no results. They take dark money and are controlled by special interests. In the other lane is Rom Reddy, a businessman who has created thousands of jobs and gotten results. He doesn't take campaign donations because he can't be bought. 2 lanes, 1 choice. It's time for something different.
Meanwhile, in the State House this week, the Senate worked through its version of the budget, and as of our taping, they're still finalizing that. We'll have more for you on Tuesday. Over in the House was the messy hemp-derived THC consumables debate.
Mega hemp.
Yes, the mega hemp debate returned on Bill H. 3924. The House sent that bill over to the Senate last year, and let's just say it's come back. It's changed. It's changed a lot. Yeah, man, things change, people change.
I'm sorry, what?
So the hemp-derived THC consumable regulation debate has undoubtedly been the messiest sausage-making process of this legislative session, or some would call it the most democratic. Yeah, remember the implosion of that House regulatory bill back in February?
Yes.
Well, since then, there's been substantial committee work, 2 weeks of debate in the Senate, and parliamentary moves on Tuesday that continued on into Wednesday in the House, and it isn't over yet. Usually when a bill passes one chamber and is amended in the other and returned with changes, that original chamber that it returned to, if it's okay with it, they say we're going to vote to concur with the changes and they send it on to the governor. When that chamber doesn't like the changes the other chamber made, well, they vote to non-concur, insisting on their version, and then send it back to the chamber. And that other chamber then typically doubles down, and then it's sent to a conference committee to hash out the differences, right? That's how it kind of goes. Neither of those happened Wednesday, despite pleas from House Republican leadership to vote to non-concur. Yes. Instead, around 40 amendments were filed, several by Representative John McCravey, Republican from Greenwood. And one of his amendments was a strike and insert that added a complete ban tied to definitions tucked into the federal funding bill that passed last November to reopen the federal government. And that provision, if Congress doesn't change it, will tank the entire multi-billion-dollar hemp industry across the country. So that's going to get worked on at the federal level. But the ban amendment was passed quietly before lunch on Wednesday by a vote of 56 to 36, with 28 folks not voting. So interesting how that moved. Another amendment was tacked on by House leadership with the original language of the bill that would restrict consumption and sale of these products to those under 21. Remember, that bill passed the House with major support last year. That was just the basic bill that they could get, and that's what they passed over to the Senate. And the Senate has since heavily amended it to allow retailers with beer and wine and hemp licenses to sell up to 5 milligram single can 12-ounce THC drinks, which are already out there right now. It would also be kept
behind the counter.
Safe, apparently. It would also require any beverage over that 5 milligram amount up to 10 milligrams to be sold at licensed liquor stores.
Also behind the counter. Safe.
I get it. It would also require that gummies with up to 40 milligrams of hemp-derived THC per package to be sold only at liquor stores.
Where?
Behind the counter. Okay? Safe. You're safe. Mark safe. Now, the bill would also ban on-premise consumption at bars and restaurants, and it would create a DUI offense for anyone who drives a car with 5 nanograms or more of THC per milliliter found in the blood. This would also keep CBD products legal and under current state regulations. So again, really not touching the CBD products. Those lower-level products are okay. Now, once 3 House and 3 Senate conferees are selected, they will eventually decide what version of the bill makes it. So, could it return to the original House bill that only outlaws the sale and consumption to those under 21, or the Senate version, which we just talked about with all those regulatory pieces to it, including the counter stipulations, which you guys seem to like? Or a complete outlawing of the products. I don't know if there's really support for that, because again, these drinks and gummies, some of which are produced in the state to the tune of hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in revenue, are widely popular and available thanks to changes in federal law for low-dose hemp-derived THC that was made available in the 2018 Farm Bill. And of course, we know that consumers' tastes are shifting away from alcohol. A lot of people like these drinks. Dorchester Republican Representative Greg Ford has actually grown, processed, and sold hemp. And these are products that he says have helped save his son's life. And he told reporters he wants to see the industry survive and thrive.
We wanted to maintain our industry. We just killed our industry. So watch the industry within the next 2 or 3 months. We're going to start having some big time issues if this passes the way it is right now.
You don't have any faith in what could happen in the conference committee at this point? Why not? What do you think is going to happen?
We don't know who's going to be on the committee. So until we know that, if we get some of these guys that want a full ban, we're going to go with a full ban and it's still going to crush the industry. But if we get somebody like Senator Davis or myself that understands, we may have something that comes out positive.
Are there enough votes in the House for a full ban?
No.
We'll see where this goes in the conference committee. We're hearing it may be the Senate version. We'll see. You know, it's part of the sausage-making process. Not everyone's going to be happy, folks. I can already tell you that they're not happy, but this is how it works. And there's only 3 weeks left. 3 weeks left in the session. 9 legislative working days. So we'll see. We'll see. You'll know when I know, okay? Promise. Welcome to the wind down section. A little break from the news. We're glad you're here, along with A.T. Shire, lead podcast producer. Hello, A.T.
Hello, Gavin. Great to be here.
Do we have any calls?
We have no calls, but that's okay.
That's
because
okay.
I am fresh here in studio off of a outdoor picnic with numerous 2-year-olds.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Okay, this guy has the scoop. What are the kids talking about? Can they speak?
Well, all of them just wanted to steal the other one's stuff. It was the day that the parents of all the kids in the class come and have lunch with the kids.
Oh boy.
And no child wanted to eat their assigned lunch. They were all just walking around to the other blankets and other kids, just trying to steal the stuff. I mean, I guess everyone's a klepto. I don't know.
I can tell you
these kids, they wanted everything else.
That doesn't change anything. I mean, that sounds like me still.
Never changed. Like,
oh, you're gonna finish that? Nom.
They all had their own water bottles. They all had their own juice boxes and stuff, and whatever. And I mean, Rena was just trying to get French fries from everyone. Like some parents brought Chick-fil-A and stuff for their kids. And so, I mean, as soon as she just from across the field saw a French fry, she was dialed in.
Like a seagull.
She was like very much, like a seagull. It was crazy.
I don't blame her. I'm the same way still. You got that, just have a little PB&J. You got a whole bunch of Chick-fil-A. You're gonna want some of that.
Want to trade? Did you have sad lunches? What were your sad school lunches? What were your sad school lunches?
Were you just thinking of Uncle Buck and Kevin McAllister?
Yeah,
Macaulay Culkin's
Kevin
like,
McAllister.
Can I interest anyone in a trade?
Yeah.
It's like a pickle in a bag, which now is the thing.
Yeah,
because Uncle Buck, John Candy packed his lunch.
I was so happy with my bologna sandwiches as a kid.
Yeah.
I loved bologna. I still to this day. I've upgraded to mortadella.
Mortadella.
Yeah.
How you doing? But
you're in the land of bologna in the South too.
I love bologna.
Fried bologna.
I love fried bologna.
Governor loves a fried bologna sandwich.
I was never like ashamed. I never wanted to trade, but I did get side eye from everyone else, like because they're like, no, actually that's disgusting, AT. And I was like, I do enjoy it.
We were never Lunchables kids.
Never had I've never eaten a Lunchable in my life.
A friend of mine, I think we've talked about Joe Dana in the podcast before. A friend of mine from grade school, Lunchable every day, every day. And for a Jackson. My mother would always be like, "You kids, that would be not even a snack for you."
No,
and it'd be like an inhalation. Then you want more. So she was like, "I'm not getting these kids all this like fancy crap that they're just gonna snip through and then be done with." Like the
idea of working on it. I didn't want to do that.
That's mainstream now too.
Didn't want to do that. No, give me the sandwich that I made before.
We would do a PB&J. You might have a small bag of chips, and then maybe a little Debbie snack, and that was about it.
We would get a Dunkaroo in there sometimes.
Oh, a Dunkaroo?
Dunkaroo.
The little brownies. What are the
Devil Dogs?
Nutty Buddy bars. Course, oatmeal cream pies, the cosmic brownies. Those live still in my brain. I'm aware of that.
Do they even make those anymore?
I think so. Yeah, I think there's a good bit. We just don't buy them anymore because we know they're not good for us.
Terrible for you. They're shelf stable for 50 years. Yeah,
we'd always have milk. Every day you'd have milk.
Ew.
My brother Colin could not get enough milk. which is why he's like 6'4", right?
That's exactly why. Yeah, no.
So we're big pro milk. And it wasn't like oh, you got to drink the whole milk. It was like just 1%. Some of the cool kids would get the chocolate milk as if Terry Jackson would ever let that fly.
I've never had chocolate milk in my life.
Shut up. I did not know
milk.
that. I know, but you're an adult. You see chocolate milk. You want to give it a whirl?
Oh, I'm not going to lie. There's some.
Oh, you can't drink because
I can't drink the milk. That's what I'm talking about. That's why I've never had. I didn't.
Still, I forget. I treat you like a normal person.
I didn't abstain for like some weird reason.
Sure, but you could take the pill and be like, what's it all about?
I could do that. Yeah, I could. But like by the time I got the pill, I was too old.
The pill.
You know? Yeah.
AT's on the pill, folks. Wait, what about Yoo-hoo? Because that's definitely
I've
like
definitely
some sort
never
of
had a Yoo-hoo. I've never had a Yoo-hoo.
It's definitely, but it's not like a dairy product. It's like a adjacent. It's like a cheese product where it's not actually cheese.
It might not be real. I don't know. I've never had it, but I do. I remember like a viral pre-internet meme that there were like rat parts in Yoo-hoo, and that like,
of course,
you know. And I just never.
I have to drink it with a straw because of the rats.
Yeah, it's a Marilyn Manson adjacent, third grade pre-internet meme.
Chocolate flavored beverage. Man, I kind of want a Yoo-hoo right now. Orangina? Yes, no?
I've had an Orangina. Yes. My dad in the early 90s when Orangina first came out was just like, just absolutely seduced by the bottle. You know? And they just started appearing in the house, you know?
That's what you really drink with a straw right there, too. And like that Canadian, it's not Canadian Mist because that's the whiskey, but it's that water with the little bubbles that were floating in it.
Orbits. I was always convinced that Orangina was just Sunny D for adults.
Yeah, because it was never sweet enough for a child. You drink it like, oh, I just want orange juice at this point. But now, man, I need some of these drinks right now. Fruitopia, can we even find Fruitopia?
I don't think they make it Sobe with the lizards. Life water. This is life water,
creamy one. Why is it creamy?
Yeah, why does it look like Thousand Island?
If you have a Sobe or a Fruitopia, do not open it.
Send us a picture, please.
But do not consume it because I'm pretty sure
I would pay you for one. Yeah, I would buy that stuff.
Jolt. Holy cow, I forgot about Jolt.
Yeah, Surge. Surge was pretty good.
And then the Surge became our Four Loco. They had us programmed.
Yeah, that was
ready to go. For Loco.
That was one Loco. That was Loco.
Yeah, that's how they got us.
Anyway, this was fun.
Yes.
By accident conversation. Gavin, do the outro. Have a good weekend.
Throwing it out there, trying to get folks to give us some lunch tips right now. 803-563-7169. What were you eating as a child? 803-563-7169. We'd love to hear from you guys. And you can always give us a shout, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts from. And you can stay up to date with the latest news on scetv.org and southcarolinapublicradio.org. And don't forget to support your local newspapers. The South Carolina Lead is a production of South Carolina Public Radio. Our producer is A.T. Shire. Amy Crouch is our supervising producer. Sean Birch is our executive producer. This podcast is produced with support from PRX and is made possible in part by a grant from the John S. and James L. Knight Foundation, as well as listener contributions to the ETV Endowment of South Carolina. For the South Carolina Lead, I'm Gavin Jackson. Be well, South Carolina.
I have created a matrix with Neuralinks that takes the smells around you and decodes them into sight.
Everything's an ad?
Yes.
Oh, are you smelling Nabisco brand Oreos right now?